Welcome back to Wedding Mayhem, and I've got Kathryn Wilson, our lovely celebrant, with us today. How are you?
Delighted to be back. Thank you so much for having me.
I've seen you for ages. I have seen you on TikTok.
Yeah.
You did the career ladder.
I did, yes.
That was awesome. I'm literally scrolling, and then you're up, and I'm going, what are you doing up a ladder? It's the first time I've seen it.
The whole show?
Yeah.
Wow.
My husband follows him, and I'm like, what is she doing up a ladder? So he was in London?
He was, yeah. He's on Brickley. He's always there. So
is he?
Small business owners, if you fancy. You know.
I might turn up in him.
Come on Wedding Mayhem and then go on the career ladder, because that's how you go somewhere in your career. Genuinely. And
you filmed Michael Douglas.
I did, yeah. I met him. I grilled him about when he's getting married to, obviously, famously, Davina McCall. And he said very soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
Oh, bridesmaid. So we've got you in today because we're going to flip the table with each other, aren't we? So you're newly engaged.
Yes.
And as you know, it's a minefield out there. Mm-hmm. Minefield planning a wedding anyway, but wedding dress shopping and the process of it can be quite daunting.
Honestly, it's the one thing that I think I find the most daunting, because, I go to things where I dress up all the time. But to be honest with you, I rarely wear like such an extravagant dress. So it's something that you want to put your heart and soul into and potentially invest quite a bit of money in as well.
Yes.
And you want to look, $1 million, but you don't want to spend that.
Yeah.
So it is a minefield. So I'm excited to grill you on all these questions.
Grill me, right? But I'm going to grill you first.
Okay, I'm excited.
So you are a celebrant.
Yeah.
I didn't ask you last time that you were in. How did you become a celebrant? What were you doing before?
That's a great question. So I am a presenter. I work in TV, and I did that for years. And it was actually during COVID when I went to one of my friends' weddings in Northern Ireland, and when it was safe to fly, of course. But I flew over there and I went to a wedding ceremony, a humanist wedding ceremony of my friends Matt and Rachel, and I was just sat in this random field. It was called the Field of Dreams. And in this gorgeous woman with this like fairy pink dress, just looking immaculate. She just started talking very casually about these two people that I love and their love story and how they met and the reason they're still together and why everybody's been brought here today to celebrate their relationship. And it was the most wholesome, loving thing I'd ever seen. And I was like, immediately ran up to her after. I was like, hey, I need to speak to you right now. I need to know exactly what this job's called.
Moment.
I need to know what this is called, how I can become one immediately. And then she told me about being a humanist wedding celebrant, and that she'd been doing it for, I think, 5 years at that stage. And she was like, here's all the details. And then it was as simple as that. I then did a little bit of research into how it all worked. I became accredited later that year.
How do you get accredited?
You do a course, and then you have to pass modules, a bit like any sort of degree or things like that.
But can you become a celebrant without doing that?
Good question. There are governing bodies, and I wanted to become legally a celebrant. So I have the power to legally marry people to each other.
In Ireland?
In Northern Ireland, yeah.
Why is it not legal here?
I know that is a big question that I don't know the answer to be honest with you. Because that day that I saw in Northern Ireland, that was a legally binding wedding. That was a humanist wedding celebration that day, and that actually they signed on the dotted line on that day,
and they were legally
married. So that was important to me, so that in Northern Ireland I could legally marry people to each other. And one day it will probably become legalised in this country, I think.
I want to talk to you about this. I know I've got loads of questions.
Yeah.
And you've not seen this.
I'm scared.
This has not come from me, so don't hurt me. It's basically what happened in Parliament last week. It's the Lord Bishop of Guildford, so the geezer down the road from here.
Right, okay.
And it's a big debate whether to legalise weddings here in the UK, and by using celebrants. And I won't read all of it, but he basically says that legal humanist marriages, the doors should not be open so wide that it brings in a free market to commercialise celebrants that will cheapen and devalue that such a vital foundation institution.
So he disagrees with it?
Yeah.
Is that in theory what he's saying?
So basically, the reason why he doesn't want to legalise celebrants is because it's a free, open commercial market.
Okay, so they can charge what they want. Is that what he means?
There's more people coming in doing it, saying that they're celebrants.
Okay.
And you know, it's a commercial vehicle rather than a legal.
Interesting. Well, in Northern Ireland, there is like an unspoken cap of what you can charge couples because it is a legal.
Yeah. Is that the same as registrars as well? Are they capped in their counties?
Do you know what? I don't think so. I don't think
council counties.
Yeah, I think there's some of the like Westminster Council. I know for a registrar to go to certain venues, it's £2,000.
Whoa!
Yeah. No way. Yeah, and that
you could get married for £2,000.
But this is what I'm saying. So it's depending on where it is across the UK, they can charge what they want in the councils. It's the same as parking. It is very similar in that they can charge you whatever they want for car parking in central London. Yeah. They can do the same with legal marriages. So basically,
it's a farce, really, because he's government. He basically doesn't want all these celebrants to come in and it be legalised because they're probably going to be charging less than what the government counties are going to be doing.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, that's a different perspective that you have there, but that would make logical sense. I just think it's sad because I do think couples should have the right to choose. Yes. And I think a lot of couples still to this day don't know that there's another option. No. Just this is how much it is. It's as simple as that. I tell you, yesterday I chucked my third husband out of an aeroplane. And so your current husband, the current husband, he survived. We went and had lunch afterwards. But while he was doing all these bits and pieces and going up in the rickety old plane, I started talking to people, and that you do. Oh, what do you do? What do you do? And I said, oh no, I've got a wedding dress shop, and but I also do a podcast and talk show, and I've got you coming. I was very excited for you to be here. And they were like, what's a celebrant? And they didn't know. And this is younger couples as well as older couples. So it's interesting how many people don't know. Yeah, and I think what you mentioned about earlier, the career ladder video, that really showed me that celebrants need to educate people more, because a majority of people don't know what it is, don't know that that's an option. They're like, so is it like a registrar? Is it like, what is it? And it's basically another person that you get to decide who that person is. You hire them to become part of your wedding, and they will plan out your wedding ceremony. So that part of the day where you can decide exactly what's said, when it's said, if you want any symbolic rituals as part of it, and they will become like an integral part of your wedding day celebration. And a lot of people don't know that you have the choice in deciding who that person is, because if you book a registrar, anybody can turn up. Yeah. You don't get to decide. You don't get to meet them. And, I work along with couples, and they will get their wedding script. They will get the script that's going to be, the words that are going to be said on their wedding day a couple of months before. So they'll get to say, do you know what, Kathryn, that's actually, that could be funnier if you wrote it this way. Yeah. And then I'll say it that way. So they get to decide, and it's more on their terms, I think. Yeah, their wedding, their terms. Yeah. And I think the reason why they're not making it legalised is because they are raking in a lot of money from, the councils on this. So they don't, that will go, it will go. Mm-hmm. It definitely will go, because people want more of a personalised service, don't they? Absolutely. And I think anybody who's been to a celebrant-led wedding ceremony, they just now can't unsee it. They can't unsee how joyful and you did magical. The same. You went to a wedding. We've had two other celebrants on, and they did exactly the same thing. They were like, what is this? Yeah. Why have I never heard about this? Yeah. It just makes everything else, by comparison, just feel a little bit boring. Yeah.
Yeah, and archaic, and I think we have to move with the times.
You're paying a lot of money for this day. You should have the right to choose absolutely every part of your wedding
and
day.
I think like this, the ceremony is the feels, isn't it? It said it's the most important part of any wedding, whether it just be the 2 of you, 2,000 of you. That's the most important part.
Yeah,
it's watching 2 people unite.
Yeah, the best way to describe a celebrant-led ceremony is kind of like a storyboard arc, in that it should feel like the energy should come up. So as the bride walks down the aisle, the energy's coming up. Then we start talking about their relationship. So it's like this a little bit. And then just as it's about to get that symbolic, beautiful, magical words are said about the couple, and you're on the verge of tears, then it goes up into laughter. So it goes up again, and it just keeps going up. And then the peak is the kiss and the pronouncement of them being married, a married couple. And I just think you need to look at it like that. That's how it should be structured. Yeah. And it needs to be all about the couple. So completely memorable and unique to them.
Yeah. And
I love it. You can tell that I just get I get goosebumps even just talking
and
about
every
it.
wedding's different, obviously, because
absolutely.
it's I've been to a few weddings and they've been beautiful, but the ceremonies have all been the same. And you start, and I'm a fidgeter, as you know, and I'm like, when's dinner, when's drink? I'm not concentrating. I'm not present.
Yeah, you should. You whenever you date someone, you talk to them about so what's he like, what are they like, what's their things to do, what's their favorite hobbies, that kind of thing. But that kind of stops after a certain point. And I think hearing someone's love story for the first time, because you don't really know. Yes, you might know how they met, or they met in a pub, or they met at a festival. This is how they met. But you don't know actually the transition from them dating into actually when they realize they loved each other, when they realize this is not just another person, this is my person. And when they made that connection, and when they made that decision, you and me, we're going to do this for a long time.
But also I think, when people don't know the couple that well, seeing, if you're not, they're a bit different, how did they, and then you hear their story and you're like, I get it now. That's why they're together.
There's one question I always ask couples, and it's the first time I speak to them. So if they have initial phone call with me or a Zoom call, and I say, so why are you getting married? And they kind of just look at each other like, what? And they've never been asked that question, because a lot of people would feel like that question is a bit rude. Yeah. But what I'm trying
to can't ask it in my shop, because especially when they're doing their
too
final,
far gone.
when they're doing their final fittings, because it's like I have had a girl ask me, going, "It's going to work out, isn't it?" And I was like, wrong person to ask. I'm three weddings in,
Might do.
Yeah. But I said you wouldn't get this far if you didn't think it. Nobody walks up the aisle thinking that it's never going to work, because then you wouldn't do it.
Exactly. And I think, celebrant-led ceremonies are not for everyone, because some people are just being like, we just want to tick the box. A lot of people do feel that way about their wedding. Genuinely. A lot of people are like, I'd be mortified if someone was standing there telling our story and talking about us for so long. I wouldn't want that. And that's okay as well. So whenever I meet couples, I ask them that question, and they take a bit of time, and they're like, do you know what? That's really a good question to ask. We're doing it because we want to announce to everyone how much we love each other and want to have that commitment in front of those we love. And I always thank them, because it's not an easy question to answer, especially if it's not right. Yeah.
It dawns on people suddenly that actually, and it's better to get out now, isn't it? Than well, we'll end now. Yeah. With these weddings that you go to, the guests, are very much just the people witnessing what's going on. But I've watched a couple of yours, and you definitely get them included in it, and they participate as well.
Absolutely.
How do you do that? Well, some people don't want to do it.
Yes, some people don't want to involve people, but to be honest with you, no matter where your wedding is, if it's an elopement ceremony and there's only 20 people there, those 20 people have put in the effort to be part of that day. Yeah. And I think that you need to show your gratitude for those people being there on that day, and for them being in your life.
Because they've taken time off work a couple of days probably if they're travelling, and paid a fortune
Maybe
on
bought
outfits.
a new wee fit, looking nice. I know whenever I'm a guest at a wedding, I always make sure that I look nice and feel nice.
Yeah.
And as you say, taking holidays off work.
Yeah.
They've invested time, and they've invested time in your relationship.
Yes.
And that is a big thing as well. Yeah. So I think it's vital to have everybody there and part of your
I had a bride in on Saturday, and it was actually her boss that got married, and they were very strict on dress code, and they had to wear block colours only. And then the boss was like, I don't like block colours, I like patterns, blah, 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 blah. But they did it in the end, and it wasn't until they got to the wedding and saw everybody else that they got it. And just so,
they had their reasoning.
They had the reasoning. And I think it's important that people understand that when they go to a wedding. It's, just go with the flow. And, if celebrant's asking you to do a certain thing, just do it.
Yeah. A lot of the time, I will have people who are maybe doing a reading, or they're a part of the day, like get in touch with me in the weeks leading up to it. And I'm happy to reassure them, because it's a big deal asking someone to be part of your wedding ceremony. And that could be, if they're doing a hand fasting ritual, they're coming up and they're placing the ropes or the ribbon over the hands and things like that. And they're very nervous because they don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
Or if they're doing a reading, it's such an honour.
It's actually one of my questions. Can they still have like personal readings?
Absolutely. Actually, I have a wedding this weekend, and the couple are Scottish and Argentinian. Okay. And one of the readings is going to be completely in Spanish for that side of the family, and I'm so excited to hear it because I can only speak English, so hearing that will be beautiful, and then that'll feel like the whole family are involved, because if English is not your first language, there's a lot of the time that maybe they are not fully understanding exactly what's going on and when, but that makes them feel involved.
But for people that don't understand what the Spanish is, they're going to be sitting there going, what the hell's going on?
But it'll sound beautiful, do you know what I mean? Because it's only a little bit of the ceremony.
Right, okay, yeah. How long should people's readings be?
It can be anything. I have had times where there's been a bit of confusion, lost in translation, I should say, where people have got in touch with me and they said they've written a speech for the wedding.
Yes.
And I've been like, okay, well, the couple have asked for a reading or something around that. A speech is not the same thing. Like a speech is, maybe something you would have at the reception, maybe at a time when, you have the father of the bride speech, you have the groomsman.
Should it be
speech,
because you're doing something personal about their story? You're already talking about the couple, so should their reading be, the flowers in the sunset and the moons in the stars? Just something like
it can be anything. Like I've had a couple in the past who were obsessed with Disney, and their friend wrote a poem about Disney, like
a poem,
intertwining all the different Disney films that they loved and things like that.
Clever.
And that was really true to them.
And so
it wasn't
still
just something
personal
off the
to them
internet.
as well.
Exactly. I'm not a big believer in downloading some poems off the internet. It has to have meaning.
Yeah.
Has to.
Again, I've got loads of questions. They were firing them off and I was writing them down. One of them said to me, we've got a family tradition for both sides. Can you blend them together? You've just answered that, actually.
Okay.
But, traditions, do you get asked for that at all? Or?
Absolutely. And religion comes in a lot. I've had couples who are one side of the couple are pagan and maybe one side of the family are Muslim, and you can combine those two things. You just take things from those different traditions and you can combine them in with the two.
Are you being asked to combine them, or will they give you?
To be honest, I'll do a little bit of research, but I'll ask them.
Yeah.
I'll say, because you are from that religion, you are from that, those traditions, so tell me them, and then we can see what we can do with them, putting them together. Obviously, when it comes to religion and things like that, if anybody wants to speak about religion, that reading would have to be done by someone who's from that religion. I couldn't talk about that religion because it's obviously not my faith.
Ah, right, okay. I didn't know that. How does it work though regarding using you? I'm getting married again.
You're having a vow renewal.
Yeah,
You're sticking with this one.
Yes,
You're having
we'll
a vow
do it.
renewal.
Well, we were going to do it this year, but shit happens, and People keep getting ill.
So you're having a vow renewal. Are you
do it.
asking how to book me?
Yeah.
Right.
So and what is the process?
The process, it will be, you'll find me online. Perhaps you'll like one of my videos, or maybe you'll have listened to the Wedding Mayhem.
Like the video.
Yeah.
We were talking about that earlier, weren't we?
You've just listened to the Wedding Mayhem podcast and you're thinking, yes, this chick sounds like someone I would like to have involved with my vow renewal or my wedding. And we'd get to know each other and see if we vibe, because it might be that what you want is actually not what I can give you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Every celebrant is different.
It's so
There's
important
it is.
with all your suppliers along the way that you gel, because
Absolutely.
things do get tough as you go through. So knowing that you've got somebody reliable, somebody that can, that you can go, you know what, they'll be okay, they'll pick up the baton and stuff like that, and that you can chat to, because they'll be your memories.
Absolutely. And actually, I feel like I build quite a strong relationship with everybody whose wedding I work on with, because I like to go for brunch, get to know you before I even start writing your ceremony.
Stop answering my questions where I ask them to you. It's fourth down.
No, but genuinely, I do, because I get to know them on a personal level. So
who pays for brunch?
Me. Yeah. If
Book her.
It has to be, when we have that initial call, we have to vibe. If we don't, it's not going to work well for me. It's not going to work well for you. And
you might
you're not
just
going to
get a
the best out of
registrar
it.
in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, get to know your celebrant on that initial call when you speak to them and you inquire with them, and that's how you book them.
Okay, so that's really important. So you go to brunch with them. Do you meet them?
Yeah.
Have you ever turned down a wedding?
A lot of the time it can be because I know that there might be a celebrant better suited. That has happened a few times. Especially when it comes to knowing other languages and things like that. I know quite a few celebrants that can do things like that.
That's nice.
And I can't do that, and I wouldn't want them to miss out on having someone that's bilingual and can speak that language. Yeah. I actually know a celebrant who can do half the ceremony in one language and half the ceremony in another. And I think that's, wow, fair play to you. But I can't do that. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if someone wanted an Irish celebrant, they might be more likely to book me. Yeah. That kind of thing. But
I love that happens. It happens in our industry as well. That
it's a collaborative thing.
Shout out to a couple of my bridal boutiques that, they'll be in, the brides will be in there and they'll go, I've got nothing for you, but I know somebody who can, and they'll literally either put them in a taxi or sat nav them and ring me going, right, if you've got room, I'm sending her on, and they'll come straight from that shop and they're astounded.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, they're astounded going, are you recommending your competitor? Well, we are competitors, and so, trust me, some of them are, there are no way I would do it because I know that they wouldn't get the service that I would give. So that's important as well.
I think that's being good in business, isn't it? Because a lot of the time, if I'm not available, I have a list as long as your arm full of celebrants who are amazing and who I've actually seen in action. I wouldn't be recommending anybody who I think might do a bad job.
Well, because it reflects on you.
Exactly.
So it's I've had a bride's guest actually said that her celebrant cancelled on the day of the wedding and sent somebody else. No. Luckily it was all right, but it was so it was
because you're paying for the person that you know.
This is why you don't have friends do the wedding. Because you could fall out with your friends towards, close, or on the day then be like, oh, I can't do it.
I'm not totally against it though.
No, I know they know you better than anybody else.
But I know, a lot of couples have come to me last minute and they've been like, we did have someone for our celebrant. We had our cousin, brother, whoever, who no longer wants to do it. They've just had a newborn. They're not in the right mind space about it. Can you help us? And you can just read the script we've got. Well, I'm not happy to do that because that script's not something I've written. It's actually not my own words, not probably how I'd say things. So I will do a re-edit if I'm going to take part in the wedding.
So you write the script?
I do, yeah.
So do they give you their stories or do you give them questions?
Yeah, so I will interview them, a bit like how we're doing today, and I'll get as much information. Is that what we're doing? We're having a chin wag. But I'll sit down and I'll record the call. I'll record the conversation, even if we're out in brunch, even if it's loud. And I'll just try and ask them tell me about this time, or, tell me about the last time you said, I love you to your husband.
This morning.
And why?
Oh, because he's having a tough time.
Oh. Do you say I love you a lot?
Every day.
Every day. How many times a day?
Before we go to sleep, always. Although he did say I was annoying last night. I'm going through a pattern where I'm so tired because I'm working constantly, and I get into bed and I'm like, hi!
I'm wide awake.
I'm wide awake. He went, you're so annoying. I love you. Go to sleep. And I went, okay, I love you, bye.
But as you can see, I'm just asking you about when you say I love you. And I think that brings on more conversations. And then I hear stories about the first time they said I love you to each other. And I think
people
that's
always
really
remember that.
Exactly. And it's really getting to the nitty gritty of why they're getting married.
Yeah, I do it in the changing room. I'll be like, who said I love you first?
Oh.
And it's nice, and puts them at ease, and then all the stories come out, you know.
And they're not thinking about, putting this dress on and how nervous
So when they look at it for the first time, they're engaged, it's like, oh, I like that, oh, that's nice, So I love hearing the personal stories.
Me too, genuinely.
I'm genuinely nosy.
I can't imagine doing our jobs if you didn't like weddings or you didn't like love.
Or people.
What? Doesn't make any sense.
You've got to love people, definitely.
I hate the world and people in it. And yes, I'm deciding to work with people one-on-one.
If people don't have anything to say, like they really have writer's block and go, I have nothing, I don't know what to do, will you do something for them? And
100%. There's been a lot of times, I'm not going to say it's just grooms, it can be often grooms who are like, I can't, I've got writer's block, I don't really want to answer these questions. And I'll just jump on a call with them and I'll be like, well, I'll ask you it in a different way. Tell me about this.
Okay,
Tell me about, so for example, whenever we're working on their vows, their personal vows, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
They're going to be saying these words in front of a room full of their loved ones.
Yeah.
The only people that they know and love in this world. It's a huge deal. And they feel the pressure, and sometimes they're like, I don't know so I just break it down for them.
Okay.
And make it really, really simple.
So you'd be great for nervous couples. Because I have brides coming in going, I just want to get married. I don't want all of this.
Honestly, if you're not nervous, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
It's not right.
Oh, okay.
Because I think nerves show the importance of something.
Yeah. And
a lot of the time I'll say, you're going to be nervous today, but just remind yourself that it's excitement because your body behaves in the same way.
Yeah.
Those sweaty palms, knees weak, arms are heavy.
Yeah. We did a groom special with Ben, and that's one of the questions coming out, and we're like, nerves are good.
Yeah.
Nerves is feelings, isn't it? And it's not necessarily, last minute thoughts, so if the weather turns bad or we need to move locations, how flexible can you be?
Totally flexible. We always have a plan B and a
because
plan
this
C.
is the difference between you and a registrar, because a registrar have got to have their table and they sometimes will not move their tables.
Yeah, honestly, I have done elopement ceremonies like beside a pond, like by down by the river. I've done it in loads of places across London. I've married people to each other by Big Ben, just right beside Big Ben. Yeah.
No
because
way.
you can have a celebrant-led wedding ceremony anywhere you want.
Okay.
And your wedding ceremony has the meaning you give it.
Yeah. That's lovely. What do you do about getting legally married?
To be honest, I suggest to couples that they do it in the weeks before.
Okay.
They can make a big deal out of it. They can make no deal out of it.
Yeah. Well, we've seen quite a lot of celebrities at the moment that are, at these registry offices in London.
Charlie XCX.
She looked great.
Recently. Oh, yeah. She looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
Loved her dress.
Yeah.
Loved her dress. But yeah, so they make a deal out of that. Some people don't do anything else. They just have that day. Some people...
I've had couples go to the registrar in their jeans and T-shirt and come in and she comes in for a handover and he goes to the pub.
A lot of my couples will come to me and they'll be like, so what you do is not legal. Why do you do it then? And I'm like, well, let me make sense of it to you. The day you have a baby is the baby's birthday.
Yes.
Right? The day you sign the registry of your baby is not their birthday.
Yeah.
The day you sign the registry for your marriage doesn't have to be your wedding day.
I love that.
It can be the day that has the most meaning.
Because this is it, isn't it? It messes with our brains because we've been conditioned that we get legally married on the day that we get married.
I've heard recently, actually, Sharon, that a lot of registrars now don't bring the big book anymore. Have you seen this? They
No.
don't bring the big book that they used to have to sign it. Because
I'm not doing it next time. I like that big book.
they don't bring the big book. They bring just a piece of paper and then they copy it. So it's not actually the legal documents. You're not actually being legally married on that day and that moment with the registrar.
I didn't know this.
Mm-hmm.
No way.
Yeah.
So,
So
what's
you're
the point?
basically having a celebrant without having a celebrant.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make logical sense to me.
No, it doesn't.
But I didn't know that until very recently that that's actually what they're doing.
Is it a particular county?
I'm not too sure. I wouldn't want to.
Is it somebody that forgot about the paperwork? If that's you,
I've done a humanist wedding celebrant, or a humanist wedding ceremony in Northern Ireland, and I left the wedding schedule, as it's called, the paperwork, on a table, ready for signing, and left the room, came back in, and a child had taken a pen to the whole of the thing. Like, I mean, there was not one bit of it without pen on it. They still accepted it. It was still a legal document because they could make out the writing and things like that.
Oh my God.
Because you don't have a dupe. You don't have a duplicate of those things.
No.
Learning that lesson made me realise I should never leave that unattended ever again.
Never, ever, ever. What are we talking about regarding costs and stuff like that? Are there any hidden charges
With
with a celebrant wedding?
not at all. We're straight up from the moment you book, you pay 50% booking fee,
Yeah.
and then you pay the rest 10 weeks before or when your wedding ceremony script is ready.
Okay, and there's nothing else.
No.
So because that's good. We're hearing all of these things coming out of like. I've got to talk about the episode that we've just aired, and it's causing major problems between venues and wedding planners and cake people. Is that venues are charging for cakes to be cut. And I'm not. They're still doing work. They are, it is a service that they are providing, but they're adding it at the end. So couples are going, "Oh yeah, can you cut my cake for me?" And they're like, "Yeah, that'd be £300 or £10 per cake."
300 quid to cut a big cake.
Yeah. So this is another episode. So but people are not aware of it. So I put a poll out, a couple of polls. I like my polls, and some people going, "What?" I didn't know about this, and people going, yeah, £1.50 a slice, they're being charged. Somebody else was £5, somebody was £10 a slice. And some people were saying, right, we're having our cake cut already.
And I thought being a parking attendant was a bad job. No, it is the person that itemised how many pieces of cake they cut at someone's wedding. Yeah. That is horrific.
So I think I think the argument is if you are going to charge for it, of course, it's something that you are doing, fair enough, fair due, but you need to be transparent about this. If you know that is a service that you can provide, then add that onto your specification somewhere.
And surely that should just be part of the package.
But it's the same as registrars, isn't it? You're paying for the day, but then you're paying for the extras for the certificates and stuff like that. So, and they're not cheap. Right, you're going to turn the tables on me. Have I forgot? Is there anything you want to add to this that I have forgotten?
I think, if anybody is interested or someone's watching this and they're thinking, I don't even know what this is. I've never seen it before. I would hope that you'll get to go and see a celebrant-led ceremony at some stage, because you won't want anything else when you've known it.
Can people come to one of your weddings?
No. I don't offer tickets.
Okay.
I don't think my couples would be very happy about that.
Because some venues do that, don't they? Sometimes they'll come,
Do you know what? I have been at a couple of venues recently, and there's been just couples. Yeah. And I've been like, what are they up to? Yeah. But I think they're just there pre the wedding ceremony to see how it's set up.
Yeah.
They're not actually coming through the door, having a look at the ceremony.
My last wedding.
Yeah.
There was a wedding on. They won't come along. And it was actually in the drinks reception. Because it was open, it was a bar, so we actually went in, and I did think, oh, this is a bit weird.
Have you been to a celebrant-led ceremony? Nope. Have you not?
Never. Can I come and be your assistant one day?
Absolutely. Okay. Let's make that
I won't
happen.
talk, I promise.
No. You wouldn't be allowed to. The thing is, I've never had to, at a wedding, say, can I have quiet or can you be silent, please? Because everybody's so in that moment. Yeah. They're absorbing the energy and the emotion. They wouldn't want to speak.
What happens? Obviously, the bride and groom have no idea what is happening until they've entered the room. So what is happening in that room prior to them coming in? The
Well,
builder.
some couples do have it, so the groom is
There,
near
yeah.
me. Is
Yeah.
at
But
the
he
front
walks
of the
in
room.
after everybody's there normally.
Yeah,
You know.
Some grooms actually invite people in.
Okay.
Bring them in. So I get everybody into their seat, and then when I know that the bridal procession is outside or the wedding party are outside, I then ask everybody to stand.
Right.
And then they walk down the aisle.
So do you tell them what's going to be happening before it happens?
Absolutely. So the way I structure a script, every movement is in that. So they'll be able to read their script like it's like a run through of a performance of a theatre show, that kind of thing. Even stage direction and things like that. Kathryn will stand here at this point, then she'll move to here.
Which is good for photographers.
Absolutely. Okay. And music and things like that, because it's not just me that's standing there, it's, a whole host of different suppliers.
Okay.
And they need to know.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
And you didn't do that nudist wedding?
No. No. This is what I'm saying. Like you did ask me, have you ever said no to any weddings? The nudist one is a good, because it's just not me. Yeah. I don't align with that. There will be someone that does.
Yeah.
I don't know of a nudist celebrant though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure
if you are a nudist celebrant, come on the show.
I'm sure you'd actually like to come to a wedding if it was a nudist one, wouldn't you?
I feel I would be really awkward. I would. I'm quite a prude actually. I'll be like, oh my God, he's got big willy. It's like, oh my God, he's got a small willy. And it's like, look at his saggy bum,
That's what I would. Do you know what? There's some weddings people like their celebrant to stand like in the aisle. So like my bum would be to the audience. And I'm like, I can't do that. I just haven't got the bum for it.
I got new foundation stuff you can put on your bum.
I don't think there would be any saving it. Do you know what I mean? But there's something. But I'm like, I can't have my back to people. There's just me as a presenter that I find that so wrong.
Yeah.
I don't want to taught people to be looking at the back of my head.
Yeah.
While I'm speaking, it doesn't make any sense.
One of the questions that I know you are going to ask me questions on it, but one of the questions that the guys asked me, what is the difference between a humanist and a celebrant?
A humanist and a celebrant. So
is there a difference?
There is a difference in that when it comes to things like SEO, so like search engine optimization on the internet, so a lot of people will search for humanist and not celebrant.
Right.
Because they'll think it's the same thing.
Yes.
Which obviously as a humanist wedding celebrant, this works in my favour because they're more likely to find me than an independent celebrant, for example. But so humanism and Humanist UK is who I am accredited by.
Okay.
But a lot of other celebrants who are just wedding celebrants, they are accredited by independent bodies. So they're just they're a wedding celebrant, not a humanist wedding celebrant. So that's the real difference.
So what does a humanist do?
So the humanism is the governing body, really.
Okay.
So they are who I did my course with, who I got accredited by, and who I continue to be accredited by.
Yeah. Does that mean that you just can do other things other than weddings?
Absolutely. Okay. I'm not trained in any other type of ceremony. You can do naming ceremonies, you can do funerals, which is a huge thing.
Well, I think that's where everybody thinks this is celebrant is that.
Yeah, and I think whenever they say the word humanist, they immediately think, oh, you must do funerals as well.
Okay.
Yeah, which I don't.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up.
No problem.
Right, you go now.
Hopefully it made sense.
It
made sense. Okay.
A bit nervous now.
Are you? You should be.
I should be. Oh my God.
I'm going to take away your drink. Okay. So I am someone who's engaged. I am definitely going to be thinking about this soon. Whenever I get the time and the mental capacity to think about when I'm going to be going to get my wedding dress.
And you do. You need to be in the right frame of mood to do it. 100%. So it's just...
Yeah, I'm just going to put it like that.
Always a little bit like
my Kindle.
It's a bit like Mastermind, isn't it? Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, we should get some music on. Okay. So how far in advance do you reckon I should start shopping for my dress? So I'm getting married in 2026, let's say. So next year. So
we're in 2025 as we're recording this over halfway now. I'm doing weddings for 2028 already. I've did a wedding on Saturday. She's getting married next week. And it depends on what you want. If you're getting married really quickly, you are off the peg only. So you're going into a shop and you're taking either something from the sale rail or you're taking a sample that they are willing to sell off the peg and they'll reorder another one for themselves. If you want a dress ordered, then that can take anywhere between 4 and 9 months.
Wow.
Depending on where it's coming from and the time of year and what is happening in the world. Most designers will say 9 to 12 month lead time from finding your dress to getting married. You need to factor in time for delivery. And I always will say, whatever the shop tells you, add on 8 weeks.
Right. Okay.
They may well have factored in, I hope that they have factored in delivery times. So for me, whatever time the designers say that their dress is due to come into the UK, I will always add 4 weeks on top of that, because it's coming from abroad. Everything comes from abroad. It can get stuck in the shipping channels. It can get stuck in customs. It gets stuck in customs anywhere between 2 and 4 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
For paperwork to be produced and back and forth, and you're going through 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th parties. So whatever date that the shop gives you as a general lead time, add on at least 4 weeks, 8 weeks if possible.
Okay, so in a sentence, as soon as you're engaged.
Yeah. Yeah, but because, and then you've got to have fittings done.
Yeah.
Fittings are anywhere between 4 and 6 weeks normally. Now, I've done a wedding in 3 hours on New Year's Eve. We were supposed to be closed. My diary was open because I thought nobody would be mad enough to book it. And I came from home and I had an appointment in. And literally, she woke up that morning and went, "I want to marry you today." He had a brain tumour. Was going in for a really risky operation, and he was a vicar, so he went, "I can do that." And she went, "Yeah, but I want a big wedding." And that was it, from her walking in to finding a dress to actually, and we changed the dress quite a bit to her specification, to then physically getting married was 3 hours. So anything is possible with the right boutique. You'll get some shops that you can go into a shop and you're getting married 28 or 27, they'll go, "Oh, it's too soon." Whereas you'll come into me and I'll be like, "Yeah, whenever you're ready." You do not know when you're going to find your dress. If you make it happen, you shoehorn something in to make it happen. When you're not expecting to find it, then you'll find it naturally. And that's the best advice I can always give, is go with the mind that you're not buying a dress that day. But if you find one, great. If you don't, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I think that shows your professionalism as well, because I think a lot of people would say, "How far in advance do I book a celebrant?"
Yeah.
Well, I've had weddings within the week.
Yeah.
Or
who's available and
exactly. Or I've had weddings that they've booked me two years in advance. So it just depends on the if we have the time, we can't.
The girl I did last week, she was turned down by 4 stalls. And I was like, "No, just come in. I've got off peg." And actually, luckily, the dress, and this never happens, by the way, the dress that she put on pretty much fitted her with the right high heel height. She got away with the length not being done, and she just needed some bust cups put in, which is slit stitched in, and just the straps.
What's a buzz cut?
Bust cup.
A buzz cut.
Buzz cut.
I was thinking buzz cut there. No, not the same thing.
You're just shaving her head before the wedding.
I've never heard these terms, so I'm like,
but that's also terminology.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's, you've got to be careful.
You're the professional, you know this, I don't.
Yeah, but I've got to be careful of using certain words that you'll look at me going, "I haven't got a clue what she's talking about," because suddenly you panic. Some brides will just go, "What do you mean?"
So I need to go and ask for a buzz cut?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Nobody get a buzz cut, please.
And our alterations, so you did mention a couple of alterations. Is that included in the cost, or do I need to get someone else for that?
It depends on the boutique that you have ordered.
In your shop?
Not with me, and majority of shops do it. And the reason why I don't do it is because it's a false economy to do that, because some dresses need hardly anything and other dresses need loads. So the poor girl and you will never get it free. And what they do is add it into the price of the dress. So whereas I'm selling a dress at 1,099, another shop's had to include the alterations. So they are now 1,299 or 1,399 to include your alterations, when in fact that alteration would only cost £150.
I don't think that is that common. I'm on a lot of like wedding help Facebook pages, that kind of thing, and always it's
extra.
It's
it used to be.
It's actually an extra supplier that people have to book.
Yeah, well, a big myth out there that most boutiques do not have their own seamstresses in the boutique. Gone are the days where they had Doris in the back room on that little Singer sewing machine.
Where's Doris gone? Where is she?
Doris is in the window posing in the dresses. But it doesn't make sense for the boutiques to have that room used for tailoring when they can use that room for extra dresses,
right? Okay,
or a stock room. It doesn't make sense. So nearly always these seamstresses are freelance. They work for themselves. They're self-employed. They have their own businesses. And other shops will work differently. I work basically these are our seamstresses. You communicate, you let me know when you want to come in, and I'll book a room out for you. If you want to do it in the evening or at the weekends or out of shop hours, you can go to them if you choose. So it gives more flexibility.
Okay.
I still don't charge for my rooms to be used, and I don't take any commission from the seamstress.
Okay.
So my tailoring can be a lot cheaper. Other shops will work that they will organise the seamstress to come in on a Tuesday afternoon. So they'll book the seamstress and say, right, you've got my back room for the whole day. We'll book all the appointments in on a Tuesday. So you've got no flexibility on days. You've got to come in on that day. The seamstress will charge the boutique will mark up, and the boutique will charge the bride. Okay. That's not a bad thing. That's how their business is run. And actually, when I first started, that's pretty much how everybody run.
Okay, that makes sense.
But nearly always it's included. It gives you freedom to go and use whatever seamstress you want. You're not locked in with the boutique seamstress.
Okay.
That makes sense.
And when I come to your shop, can I just come in for a nosy, or should I book ahead?
Always book.
Okay.
I used to have an open door, but since COVID changed that, and actually we preferred it. It's a more relaxed atmosphere. Can you imagine you standing in your wedding dress?
And someone else has walked in.
Yeah, and you've got Dora the Explorer coming in going, oh, don't you look lovely? You know,
yeah.
Or
no, that makes perfect sense.
Or she'll be in her actual wedding dress that she's just said yes to, and the person walking in going, oh, I don't like that one. You know, so we don't do it.
People do
yeah,
that.
and I think you can have more than one appointment on the go.
That makes sense, but I think I'm
more respectful.
I think I'm a little bit intimidated by booking.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It feels like a bigger deal.
It's
real.
No,
But it feels I need to invite my friends.
But you booked to go and have your hair done.
That's so true.
You pretty much have, since COVID, pretty much everything is booked. You booked to go to the restaurant.
You're so right.
You know, you booked to go and book your library book in now.
That is. Do you know what? You're
you know, and also, what's wrong with being organised? And if if you turn up a boutique, I'm going to try wedding dresses on. You've got your crew. You're all excited. You've got your lunch booked for afterwards because hopefully you might be celebrating. You get to the boutique and there's already a fitting there, and you get turned away.
Fair enough.
You're crestfallen. It's nothing worse.
Fair enough.
Book. Okay. People book.
Okay. That is a good reason to book. Do you have sample gowns in the shop for me to try on?
Yes. So you'll have several different types of stores. A lot of stores will specialise in one type of dress. So they only do plain dresses, or they only do T-length dresses or sparkly dresses. I'm 6 shops in one. I pretty much have everything because my collection is about 300 dresses. So I have a lot of choice. So if you're going, because a lot of these boutiques will charge now, this is something to factor in as well. So research your boutique before you go there. There's nothing worse than spending that money on an appointment and you turn up and you don't like anything in the boutique.
Okay.
You've wasted your money and your time.
Yeah.
And again, you're crestfallen because it's that build up.
Or nothing suits your body type.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you'd have lots of different.
For me, people walk in and go, I've got no idea, or I want this, and I'll be like, yeah, no problem. You know, because they don't normally walk out without a dress with me because I pretty much have everything.
Okay. This question is, should I match my dress to my venue?
No.
Okay. That's a good answer.
And actually,
the first one-word answer.
No, because you know that venues change. You can plan everything for your wedding down to matching the carpet. Look at you changed outfit earlier because you matched the sofa. You know, so
things do change.
So at the last minute, a venue can change their decor completely. They can actually say, actually, you're not in this room anymore. You're in this room now.
A couple of venues actually in 2026 are doing renovations to the front of their venue.
Yeah.
So the whole place will look completely different. And a lot of couples that are booked to go there now want to cancel. They want to go somewhere else because all their wedding photos that they'd visualised at this gorgeous palace now is going to be the back room.
Yeah.
And their photos. So no,
but also they can go to another venue and that venue also will change.
Exactly.
You know, unless you've got it in a contract that they will not be changing.
Yeah.
You know, but there'll be something in there and things change.
Yeah. You can't, your expectations need to be, you know, lowered slightly when it comes to, don't match. I don't think I've ever met anybody that matches their dress to their venue.
No, I think the style and theme and stuff like that. But
like Bridgerton vibes.
That's why you always start with your wedding dress. Wedding dress you should always buy first, and that's why you've got to do it so far in advance, even if you're buying off the peg. Because once you've got your dress, I promise you, everything else will go. I can have those flowers. I can have that. I can have that. Nobody's looking at the wall paint. Nobody's looking at the carpet. They're looking at you and your aesthetics around.
Match your dress to you. And your body type.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. How many people is too much people?
The right people. So bring the right people.
So when you start going to, I'll invite them along.
We have a limit of 3 people. You'd be surprised how many people turn up with 5 or 6, even though they've written in, I'll bring 3. You know, and the bride is entertaining. Then they're not looking at themselves. They're not looking at the dress. They're looking at all those faces. That's 6 faces. That's 4 faces.
Yeah.
You know.
Or bringing friends that don't know each other.
No,
it's
that's
not a date.
No, yeah. We had that at the weekend. It was actually, we turned out all right in the end. But they were chatting to each other. But and the bride was coming and go, oh right, okay, you know. And the bride's not having the experience. Go on your own. You know, I have so many brides now coming on their own, or they're just bringing mum. If you haven't got a mum, bring a friend. Do not bring the brutal friend. Do not bring the opinionated friend. They're not there to give opinions. They are there to be with you when you find the dress. Because only you can say yes to the dress.
And you know what friends you should be bringing along and what you shouldn't. Like, you know deep down, as much as your friend would want to be there, you want your friends who are your cheerleaders.
Yes.
But who also will hold the mirror and hold it up to you and be like, what do you think?
I cannot, on a weekly basis, there'll be a handful of people and I see my brides go, I've made a mistake, haven't I? You know, because people added themselves. Oh, I want to come. You know, and it's like, you know, it's not entertainment. It's not Thought Park. It's you know, choosing your wedding dress. If you're unsure what you want, do a recce with one person that is not opinionated and narrow it down. So when you do bring people and go, I've actually tried that. We have it where they go, oh, she hasn't tried the sparkly one on. She hasn't tried that on yet. And
so they remember.
You know, they're in their heart that they're trying to do the best thing they don't want them to miss out, but they're confusing the bride. Okay. So if you've been before and you know what you want, and it's between 3 dresses, it's like a bit like bridesmaid shopping. These are the dresses. These are the colours. You know, I'm not looking at anything else but these. You know, it's hard for brides.
Honestly, the relationships that you have to think about when you're getting married, planning a wedding.
I'm a massive fan of, again, don't bring back COVID, but in COVID, the partner came with the bride and they were the nicest appointment, and I'm seeing more of those. European girls tend to do it a lot, particularly if they've been married and they're having like a wedding day afterwards. Yeah. But they're there, they're excited.
Do you know, it's so interesting because like, if my partner goes to get a suit, I'll go with him. But like, there's never been a time where he's come with me for a dress. I don't think he gets it.
Jack, yeah?
Yeah. I just
Jack. What the hell are you playing at?
I just don't think he enjoys it as much as, but to be fair, like,
my son and my husband.
Suit shopping I don't get much joy out of that. No. Do you?
I hate shopping.
That's what
it was hilarious because that's what I do for a living.
Yeah.
But I'm in, out, done. I don't overfocus on it.
But that makes you good at your job.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm you know, it either suits me or it doesn't suit me. Everything's off on. You know, so I'm a very quick shopper. My husband does not like going shopping because he's the girly shopper. He likes to browse. He likes to sniff. Yeah. And
sounds like our partners are the same.
Yeah.
How should I choose what shops to go to?
Again, it's researching what you like. You don't know what suits you until you start trying on. So it is quite hard, but you'll know what your pleased about, what you like, what you visually like, what fabric you like.
Yeah.
Top tip, if you're looking at any of these Instagram pictures, any of these designer photo shoots, they are pretty much AI corrected now.
I was going to say, because
You know.
like, do you advise your brides to like have a nosy on Pinterest, or like,
No.
what do you, no?
It's so confusing.
Yeah. Go and find real brides.
Put your hand over the face of the model. Okay, and I said this on Saturday gone to a bridesmaid. I said you should always put your hand on the face of the model. Then you're just looking at the dress. If you look at her and the dress, you're buying her. It's like going to the sofa shopping and buying the aesthetics around it. That's not your home. So my bride's mother-in-law to be said, "You're so right." She said, "When I go sofa shopping or bed shopping," she said, "I take my throws with me and my cushions and put them on there because she wants to visualise what it will look like in her home." And
that's a great idea.
You should be doing it in dresses.
Because I'm not a very visual person, so I need to actually see it. Yeah,
but brides come into the shop and they go, thank God they haven't paid for the appointment with me, but they'll go, "There's nothing here. I've got 300 dresses. There is nothing here." And I went, "Try 3 dresses on. You've come this way. Let's try 3 dresses on, and I'll go and pick 3 random dresses."
So you don't charge for your appointments?
I don't charge.
Very interesting, because a lot of them do. I've done a lot of research, and a lot of them are £100 deposit that will go towards your dress.
Yeah.
But what if you don't find your dress there?
Yeah.
Just got 100 quid.
This is why it's important to bring the right people with you, so you don't waste your appointment, because for every person that you bring with you, that's 15 minutes of the shop's time sorting them out. Toilet. Even though they're good people, they want a toilet break. They want this, they want that. There's a question, "Oh, what about sleeves? What about tailoring?" And you're asking 6 different questions. So they will take that time out of the bridal fitting. So you've got to choose your store wisely. And research is really important.
Love that. Thank you for answering that.
Or come to me.
When should I buy accessories?
After you've got your dress.
Okay.
Don't buy anything until you've got your dress.
Do you allow photos during the appointment?
I don't allow photos.
You don't allow photos?
No. No, because some of these designs are under our own label.
Okay.
Some of our designers don't like it, because we see the girls go back onto Facebook groups going, "Anybody in China make me this dress?" Or "Anybody got this secondhand?" No, I'm free of charge, my appointments. So.
I wasn't expecting that answer, but that does make sense for you as a business owner.
But more importantly, we don't like ourselves in photos.
No,
so we
don't.
take photographs of ourselves in dresses, go home going, "Don't like that one. Oh my God, I look awful in that one."
So right.
And it's not been, there's a reason why we have professional photographers at our wedding. We cannot properly take them on our cameras, or a different angle. It's not this, it's wrong lighting, and my hair's not done, my makeup's not done. So mainly for that reason. And also, it takes time.
Yeah.
If they want to pose in every single photo, that's going to take time out of your appointment.
Okay.
You're missing out on trying dresses.
Do you state that as a rule before they come in, so they know?
Yes, signage is on our...
Because I can imagine them just on the
They do, and I just politely ask them. Again, it's be present. Be present at the appointment. It's not a photo shoot.
Oh my God, so true.
For that reason. But once they've ordered, we take loads for them. We do a video. Did a catwalk with a girl.
Oh,
that was great.
I saw a lovely video the other day, and it was... the lady who was the shop assistant in the shop actually did a video for the bridesmaids, because the bridesmaids couldn't make the appointment.
Or FaceTime.
Yeah.
That's a good way of doing it.
Because you need to know how to unbutton it and button it back up.
Bring your people to your fitting appointment. That's the best appointment to bring them to. He's shouting at me. So you've got one more question.
Okay, I've got one more question. So tell me what happens at the final pickup. What do I need to be prepared for that? Do I just come and collect
Bring somebody with you. Somebody who's going to drive, because you're a bag of nerves. Or if you're driving yourself, that's fine. But bring somebody that's going to help you out with the dress. Make sure that your back seat is completely clear of junk, dog hair, baby seats, everything you can imagine.
Okay.
What's in the back of your seat. And what you want to be doing is laying the dress out and then hanging it up on the hanger loop.
Okay.
But come to us and we'll sort that out for you.
Great advice. Thank you.
We're going to do questions from the public.
Oh.
We could have done more of those, couldn't we? What have you got?
I arrived at an extravagant wedding venue as a +1, stepping in at the last minute as his wife was ill. Close friend of the wife. only to see the man I'd been dating for 3 months was the groom. What? He didn't even look worried I might say something. I didn't, but I wish I had have. It took me years to trust another man, but now I'm getting married and I bought my dress from you. Can't wait. Thanks for all your help, girls. From Vicky.
Yeah, I was actually there when Vicky wrote that out, and she said it just nothing. But you shouldn't be taking plus ones that you don't know, that the couple don't know. What's your view on that? My bride on Saturday said, nobody's coming to my wedding that I have not had dinner with.
I think that's a very fair...
And if there's plus ones, they're not, then, you know, if she doesn't know them, they're not
Absolutely.
coming.
I've been to a lot of weddings, to be fair, because a lot of weddings where it's like someone, perhaps they don't have a partner.
Yeah.
But they've taken a friend with them.
Yeah. But I think this is what's happened here.
Yeah, because I think... Actually, it's a bit rubbish going to a wedding on your own. If you don't know anybody, trying to mix with people you've never met before because you only really know the bride and groom. You are, but not everybody is confident. And, you know, I think if it meant my friend staying for a little bit longer, I'd be happy if they brought a friend.
Yeah.
But make sure that it's not any of my partner's exes.
How many have you had, Kathryn?
No, any of my partner's exes. That's why I would be upset with it. Definitely not my exes.
Can you imagine? My boyfriend went to a wedding where the best man did his speech. He started, they say what goes on stag tour stays on stag tour. Then opened up his shirt to reveal a picture of the groom being sucked off by a woman. Not sure what happened next, but the first dance was with his mum, not the bride. What? That was my guest on Saturday wrote that. We were like, what? So she doesn't know what happened in the end, but she's going to find out for us.
Update. I was not expecting that.
But why? But that's the best man. What's the best man playing at? You know.
Oh my goodness.
Idiot. Yeah, choose your best man wisely. Right, one more each and then we can finish. Oh, sorry.
You're okay. It's fine.
Oh, that's an empty one. That's
bride to be, I am a dropper.
Oh, I'm a dropper. Top tips to be prepared.
What's a dropper mean?
Spill stuff on top of stuff.
Oh, right. Okay, I'm a dropper. I'm a dropper. I was thinking like slut drop at a wedding. I drop it like it's hot. Do you know what I mean? That could be a dropper.
Oh, no, I'm presuming that's what it means. Yeah, dropper. You know when you like...
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
You need my same.
You just need a bib.
A bit. Well, you can get the bibs.
Yeah, I would just put the napkin on.
Napkin. I would do the napkin, or lean forward, and or not have any messy food. But I'm a gravy girl.
Oh, I love a gravy.
I love a gravy.
Speaking my language.
I've done a few TikToks about cleaning your dress at the venue and stuff like that. So there are some top tips on our socials of what to take with you and stuff like that. This is quite apt following that one. Pick your groom's ushers wisely. I got married and found out that he was cheating on me on our honeymoon. All his friends supported me throughout. His usher is now my lovely husband. Oh, I've read this one out before. So we're going to cut that out and then we're going to read another one. Why is that
one down there? Yeah.
Right. Guys, can we talk about discos? We know we want one especially as our guests love to dance, but I can find it triggering and can get really upset with the loud music. How can I do it? Can't wait for this episode to air. So much is not discussed about this. Oh, this is going back to our ADHD and autism.
So they get overstimulated at a disco.
Yes.
Okay. Does it have to be a disco? Could it be a band?
Could be a band. I'm a big fan of silent discos.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, so they could have headphones or earpieces. Mm-hmm.
I do get it. I think couples nowadays should have an area for people to go if they feel a bit overstimulated. It's not just the smoking area.
Breakout rooms.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
bean bags.
I know a lot of couples now have areas where children can go and just like there's a little playroom or there's like sofas in that people can have a lie down. Because it's a long day a wedding.
Yeah, I had a room that we got changed in. That was my breakout room, and me and Georgia with a bottle of Sambuca went up. And we watched everybody, but we were in the room on our own going, oh my God, that was a lot, and...
it's very overstimulating a wedding day.
Yeah, it's too much. And I'm on the outside an outgoing person, but inside I'm like, going to wedding on my own, I'd do it. But before I'm getting there, I'll be like, oh my God.
I know.
But I'd go in, swing a drink up and talk to I'll get in first, So, but you can have a band. You don't have to, does it have to have music?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because most people want that. That feels like a celebration for people. I feel like I can't imagine a wedding celebration without music. Yeah. Can you?
No, I can't. Yes.
It's especially that vibe. Straight after dinner, you've just been sat down, you've eaten probably quite a hefty meal because you've been starving.
You got weigh in tomorrow, so you need to get it off.
Exactly. So I've seen these amazing bands. There's this Viking band in Ireland, and they just bring these drums just into the room.
Okay.
Just everybody's having their last spoonful of custard or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they literally just bang these drums and get everybody outside.
Yeah, I love that.
To like just Irish dancers, they just play these drums, and it's loud music. Yes, it's stimulating.
Yeah.
But it gets people out of their seats because that's what you need, that energy to go back up.
Yeah.
After
And you
dinner.
can always go out and take a breather, and you don't have to be physically there.
Absolutely. Have the opportunity for people to be able to.
But I find that disco music, like a disco and a band, are two different things. You haven't got lights flashing all over the place, so that could be a stimulant as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, just have two options, I think.
Yeah.
It's not just a smoking area.
Agree. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed that. Flew in.
We'll have to do more on that because we could talk forever, as we know. But where can everybody find you?
So you can find me online. I am at Love Celebrants on TikTok and on Instagram. And my website is lovecelebrants.co.uk or .com.
Yeah, definitely go and book her, but definitely go and watch her socials. It's the highlight of my day because every morning there is something new there. And I'm like, where is she now? And
Thank you for saying that.
I just they're just engaging, and actually it's really informative what you do as well.
Thank you. I'm trying to be more so because, like you say, not a lot of people know that celebrants exist.
No. We get lost in our own industry. We think everybody knows what we're doing, but it's important to put it out there so people learn.
Absolutely.
And I think if you've got the tools, and you're armed with them, then it's not going to be so scary.
Absolutely. And thank you for answering all my questions about, I feel like I want to book now to go and try on a couple of dresses.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes. So if you want a wedding dress, come and see us at Love Me Do Brides. Thank you again for watching us, for sharing, for liking. We're getting loads of comments as well. Keep these questions coming in. They're really, really important. We're close to 4 million. Next couple of episodes, I think we might be there. So thank you so much, and we'll see you all again next week. Bye.